guys? Lord Tremendous here. Got another battle report here for you. A 2,500 point battle. Lord Tremendous, that's me, of the Warriors of Chaos, versus Male Sharpies of the Ogre Kingdoms. This is actually a pretty cool game. It was set up from a guy who came from out of town to get a game in with me. I guess my internet fame is starting to catch up with me, or it's a huge coincidence and I'm just going to let it feed my ego. Either way, it's another battle report for you, so you're really the winners. Congratulations. My army list was pretty much the same as always. I've got my Demon Prince, Lord Tremendous. He's still got the Mark of Tzeentch, level 4 Wizard, Chaos War Armor with Wings, Charm Shield, Dragonbane Gem, Other Trickster's Shard, Demon Blade, Scaled Skin, Soul Feeder, and the Laura Medal. My heroes were the Exalted Hero, Tardum, the Herald of Tzeentch. He's still Mark Tzeentch. He's still my BSB. He's still on a demonic mount that's barded. He still has his great weapon. He still uses the Talisman of Preservation with Poisonous Slime and a Third Eye of Tzeentch. Still. And then, of course, there's the Chaos Sorcerer, Astrakus the Muse. He's my Mark Slaanesh level 2 Wizard on a Steed of Slaanesh, the Slickness. He's still got his Enchanted Shield, Skull of Catan, Luckstone, Ruby Ring of Ruin, and the Lore of Slaanesh. My core choices were 24 by Warriors of Chaos with Mark Tzeentch, Full Command, Hand Weapon Shield, and Banner of Eternal Flame. Because fire kills stuff, and I like fire and killing stuff, so it works out. I've got my 5 by unit of Chaos Warhounds with poison attacks, Chariot Mark Tzeentch, Chariot Mark Slaanesh, Orcish Elegance. 5 by Marauder Horsemen with Mark Slaanesh, Shields, Spears, and Throwing Axes, and a Banner Musician. My special choices are my Chimera Trifection with Poison and Regen, my 5 Hellstriders, the Pleasure Riders with Banner Musician, Spears, and Shields, and my rare choice, the Mutalith Vortex. Gotta love the beast. My opponent's army was as follows. He had the Slaughtermaster as his general, Mel Sharpies. He was a level 4 wizard, Fencer Blades, Pigeon Plucker Pendant, Crown of Command, and the Lore of the Great Maw. His heroes were his Bruiser, MacDonald. It was his BSB. He had a great weapon, heavy armor, and a Talisman of Preservation. He also had a level 1 Firebelly, Carl Jr., with a Hellheart. Which, yay. No, it's okay. His core choices were 14 by Iron Guts, the Hardy's Boys, with Full Command, Standard of Discipline, which was actually very cool. His special choice were 6 by Man-Eaters, Jack's Box Squad, Banner Musician. They all had the Brace of Pistols, which was really unusual. I'm not used to seeing that. Usually I see like the well, I almost never see Man-Eaters, who am I kidding? But when I do, they usually have like the extra hand weapons and stuff like that. The Brace of Pistols, very, very interesting. And they had the Banner of Eternal Flame, so woof. I found out about that one a little late. He also had 2 Chaff Saber Tusks and a unit of 4 Mournfang Cav, the White Castle Crushers, with a banner and the Dragonhide banner. And his rare choices were 2 by Iron Blasters, because, you know what, they're a good choice. Why wouldn't you take them? These are my spells, 4 from Metal, 2 from Slaanesh, 1 from Fireball, and 1 not shown for the Mutalith Vortex. Yep, I fit it in. Here are his spells, 4 from the Great Maw, and Fireball, because it's the best fire spell, let's face it. Here's deployment. As you can see, yeah, I mean, you're fighting against Chaos versus Ogres for the most part. We just squared off against each other. I had a couple of my chariots over to the right there, just getting ready in case the Mournfang got too close or the wars. Basically, they were just coming in on a flank, hopefully, and getting me that 2d6 plus 2 goodness. My Hellstriders ran up because the right side was the safe side. My Hellstriders ran up the left side and used the wall for cover. Didn't really help, but you know. The dogs and the Mutalith are hanging out side by side because I'm not really concerned about the dogs getting shot off the table or anything like that. And the Demon Prince, the BSB, and the Warriors shooting right up the middle because, hey, it's Ogres. We got to get into combat. He's either coming to me or I'm going to come to him. Here's my opponent's right flank. There's his 2 Saber Tusks and one of his Iron Blasters. The Iron Blaster is facing away for whatever reason. Here's his center. On the left there are his 6 man-eaters. And if you look closely, and there's better pictures later on, this guy actually converts a lot of his stuff. And what he's got there is the brace of pistols and stuff like that. He's actually got a left and right-handed pistol for them. He's been able to sculpt and stuff like that. So it's very cool, actually, to see actual WYSIWYG for something like that. In the middle there is a unit of 14 Iron Guts with his Firebelly, his Slaughtermaster, and his BSB in that unit. They're all in the second rank. His command is up front, and that's pretty smart too. But yeah, very cool. Instead, he's converted some of their weapons to be like axes and stuff like that, which you never see with ogres. So I thought that was very cool. His musician actually had a scratch-made tuba on him, but the Chaos Gods are fickle, and the glue gave out, and the tuba fell apart. Unfortunately, I didn't get any pictures of it before that happened, because it happened during deployment. So, as much as that sucks, I really wish I could have gotten a picture of that, because the tuba for his musician was very cool. There's another Iron Blaster right there, with the Nobbler Spotter sitting right in front of the wheel, which is just terrible placement. Well, or very good. I guess it really depends on the ogre's personality. And there's 4 Mournfang right there to the right. One is in the Emperor's new clothing, so just throwing that one out there. If you get the reference, cool. If not, well, still cool. Here's my right flank. There's my Hellstriders with Ashkiss going up about 12 inches. There's my Chimera. Try fiction! Trying to find out where his next meal will be. My 2 chariots. The Gorby's chariot is back. It's just a regular chariot, it's just a proxy model. The wife is painting my actual chariot, so, you know, I figured everybody could understand. And of course, there's Orcish Elegance right next to them, backing up any play he might try to make. Here's my center. The Dragon Ogre that's rearing up is my BSB, my Exalted Hero on a Demonic Mount. He's back because my wife is also working on painting that model for the upcoming Alamo GT in November. So yeah, I had to use a proxy. Well, I guess kind of a proxy. Right next to him is my Demon Prince, Lord Tremendous, which is just raw awesome, wrapped in cool. And there's my warriors right next to him, just looking for love in all the wrong places. Here's my left flank. There's the Mutalith Vortex. Right next to them are my 5 units of, let's face it, your dead dogs, and the 5 newcomers, the Marauder Horsemen, just running up there. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with them in this list, because there's really no soft targets other than the kitties. So here's top of turn 1 after movement, and wouldn't you know it, he got the +1 and rolled a 6. So checking my dice, I did not have a 7 on any of them. So he decided to go first, and rightfully so. And as you can see, they do a flying V formation over to my right flank. Apparently, Hellstriders have offended these guys. Other than that, one of his Saber Tusks actually charge my Marauders, and when I stand and shoot, I miss. Because Bliss's skill 3 isn't really all that great. So, yeah, I miss. He gets into combat with me, and it's on top of turn 1. Meanwhile, everything else just kind of shifts over, as you can see. There's a better picture of the kitty looking. See, we smelled like delicious. That's the problem. We'll work on that. During his magic phase, he gets, what is that? He gets a spell off on these guys. Spine Marrow, which I think ups their toughness or their strength or makes them stubborn. I have no idea. It does something. And then right behind that one, he gets Toothcracker off, or Bullgorger, or whatever. He gets another spell off on these guys. So they've got like 2 augments off on him right away. And I'm like, I can't keep up with his magic. But it is what it is. Yep, during his shooting phase, his first cannon takes careful aim at my Chimera, pulls the trigger, and click! He looks inside the barrel, and there's a damn Nobbler stuck inside of it, so he can't shoot this turn or next. And I silently thank any Chaos God that might be listening. Okay, then we go into combat, and the crazy-ass Saber Tusk actually kills a Marauder Horseman. I failed to do anything back to it. With his charge and a wound to my banner, he wins by 1, but thank God they stick it out. I was a little worried there. If I lost those guys to a cat, like a 21-point model right off the bat, I would die a little on the inside. I would. So here's bottom of 1 after movement, and in true Lord Tremendous style, I charge. My Demon Prince needed a 9 roll to hit the Mournfang, and I said, you know, to heck with it, and charged him, and made it. And the Chaos Warhounds, tired of being chaff, have decided that they could take the kitty. So they do. They charge over there and they slam into the flank of the Sabertusk, make it no problem. Meanwhile, the Mutalith Vortex Beast runs up to get his spell off on the Man-Eaters. The Warriors move up to just get into the fight, while the BSB and the Chariots get in there to square off with the Ogres, daring them to make a charge, while the Hellstriders and the Chimera move around to either support the BSB, or I'm sorry, support the Demon Prince, or possibly, like with the Chimera, charge in there next turn. Here's a better picture of Raw Awesome Wrapped in Cool slamming into some Mournfang. And a better shot of my dogs trying to up their standing in the tribe. Yeah, good luck, guys. During combat, I decide to enchant my Demon Blade +1 to give me armor piercing and +1 to hit because they're Mournfang. They're hard to hit. And then we go into combat because, shooting is in combat. And yeah, the dogs do a great job. They actually end up doing a wound, winning combat, and the dogs flee. I try to restrain with the Marauders and chase with the dogs. The Marauders fail to restrain, so everybody chases the dogs. Chases the Sabertusk. I run him down, and we stop in front of the mountain. Yeah, the big impassable terrain there. We stop right in front of the rock. It's a beautiful rock. It really is. All for 21 points. Then we go into combat over here, and he does no wounds to me whatsoever. I get 2 through onto him, and my Demon Blade does a wound onto me. So the Demon Blade just starts carving up everybody. And yeah, in the end, he's steadfast and passes no problem. So poop. But it wasn't really a shock. Top of 2 after movement. As you can see, no new charges. The Iron Guts move up and kind of dare me to come after him. The Man-Eater's turn to look at the Mutalith. His Sabertusk kind of moves up to get in the way of the Mutalith's charge into the Man-Eaters, I guess. And his Iron Blaster turns to look at the dogs, I guess, and stuff like that, although it can't shoot this turn. The other Iron Blaster looks at the Hellstriders. Looks like he just has kind of had enough of them, maybe, or tries to kill the Chimera. Who knows? And so, yeah, not a whole lot, but, it's too big army, or it's too, he's got a bunch of big units, so there's not a whole lot for him to move around. During Magic, against my better judgment, he gets 2 more dang augments off on him. I tried to stop him, and he just wasn't having me stopping him. He just kind of laughed at me a little bit. Shooting, nothing happens. He shoots his cannon at my, what's it called? At my Chimera, and I'm able to ward save it, or regen save it. And I think his Man-Eaters either failed. I don't think they had a musician. I don't think they had a musician, so they couldn't switch reform and fire at me, so they didn't get to shoot. So we go into combat, and as you can see here, I do 2 more wounds, I think. I kill off a Mournfang. I think the wound that I got on this combat came from one of the Mournfang. So I'm sitting at half dead, but I've gotten one of the Mournfang down, so I'm feeling better about this. And once again, he's steadfast and doesn't break. Or I lose combat. I don't know. Something happens, and we don't break. We stay there. So we go to bottom of 2 after movement, and I've had enough of this Mournfang combat, so I send the BSB and the Chimera in there to help out the Demon Prince, thinking that with that many points slammed into the Mournfang, I've got this. The Hellstriders, seeing the predicament that the BSB is in with the, the flank charge coming from the Iron Guts, go in there. Ashikus leaves the unit, and the Hellstriders run up to basically get in the way of the Iron Guts, so they can't charge my poor defenseless BSB. And yeah, my Mula stays right where he's at because the Sabertusk is giving me cover and I don't really need to move him a whole lot. Meanwhile, the Marauders scoot around and the dogs scoot around to go and do something to get back into the fight. And the Chariots sit over there, get ready to charge the Iron Guts once they hit the Hellstriders because it's only an 8-inch charge with Swift Stride. Or I need to roll an 8 with Swift Stride to hit them if they stop right where the Hellstriders are. So I wasn't too concerned. Here's a better picture of the Chimera and the BSB running in there to try to help out the Demon Prince. And then it didn't show it in the last picture. I did this, but my Ashikus runs into the forest to just try to stay away from getting cannonballed off the table or something like that, and runs headlong into a tree. Thank God he's made of tougher stuff than a regular rank and file model, because otherwise he'd be dead. So yeah, he takes a wound for diving into the forest. So magic is a wash, shooting is wasted, so we go into combat, and I kill one more Mournfang. I take 2 wounds onto the Chimera, and that's it. It's just, yeah, one more Mournfang goes down. It was, he got regen off that last turn, and I had no flaming attacks, so yeah, that kind of pooped a little bit, but what can you do? I win combat, but he stays. So we go to top of 3 after movement, and there's just a little bit, not too much. His Sabertusk goes into the forest to clear the shot for his man-eaters into my Mutolith, I assume. His Iron Guts come slamming into the Hellstriders as expected, and his other Iron Blaster slams into the Chimera, which I saw after the fact, and I was like, oh, crap. So it is what it is. What can you do? Yep, Iron Blaster charge into the Chimera. I was really, really worried there. He only had 2 wounds left. Over here, there's a Traino Iron Guts slamming into the Hellstriders, and of course all the characters come forward. And yeah, he gets +1 strength off on him. Finally, I'm able to stop some of his magic. So yeah, they've got +1 strength on the Mournfang though, so that's not looking too good. Over here in shooting, he gets a cannon and fires it into my Mutolith, and the Mutolith catches it no problem. His Man-Eaters had fired at the Mutolith prior to this with their flaming attacks. That's when I found out where the Banner of Eternal Flame was, and shoots and did a wound to the Mutolith, taking away his 5-up regen. And then the cannon fired, hit, wounded, and did like 6 wounds to him and exploded him all over the landscape. I hate it when my Mutolith dies, but it was well played by my opponent. I really can't complain. I should have moved my Mutolith over, near the forest so they could have blocked the ball or something like that. But I didn't think about it until after he was splattered. My own stupid fault. Way to capitalize on my mistakes, my opponent. Well done, sir. Right here in combat, I know everyone was shocked. The Iron Guts had no problem, basically with impact hits, just destroying the Hellstriders. And then in combat over here, the Mournfang get killed to a man, and the Chimera gets killed by impact hits from the Iron Blaster, which broke my dang heart. It really, really did. But it is what it is. Can't win it all. Every way possible, I guess. I hate it when my monsters die. I really do. But I'm a brat, so I guess I got to get over that. Oh, and yeah, as you can see, the BSB turns to face the Iron Guts, and the Demon Prince is still in combat with the Iron Blaster. So the BSB turns because it's like, cool, now I can work on these Iron Guts. So over here, bottom of 3 after movement. So I charge the Iron Guts with my BSB, my Chariot, or both my Chariots, and my Warriors. The Warriors, needing a 10, were the furthest away. And of course they didn't make it. They rolled like a 6. The Tzeentch Chariot needed an 8, rolled a 5 or something like that. It was ridiculous. And the Slaanesh Chariot needed a 9 and rolled, I don't know, not a 9. And so the BSB makes it no problem. The rest of my army leaves the BSB high and dry. I was a little sick to my stomach because at this point it was like, oh no, I just gave him free points with my BSB. There's nothing I'm going to be able to do here. So that sucked. Also, the dogs, once again, trying to up their status in the army, charged the rear of the Sabertusk that was in the forest. So, yeah, there's that. Meanwhile, the Marauder Cav, I really didn't know what to do with them. I didn't feel like getting grape-shotted by his Iron Blaster, nor did I feel like getting shot by 12 shots from his Man-Eaters, so I ran him over by the forest, figuring, hey, maybe they'll hold out for a minute, and Ashka stays in the forest because he's got range with all of his spells. Here's a better picture of my army just leaving my BSB high and dry, which really sucked, but what can you do? And there's a picture of the dogs looking for status. Good. Kill the kitty. So yeah, magic is pretty much a wash. We go into combat, and my Demon Prince has no problem just disintegrating the cannon all over the landscape. Basically, he saw what happened to Mutolith and did it to the Iron Blaster. Over here, although the dogs take 3 wounds, they do kill the cat, and that's glorious. And then over here, the BSB gets into a challenge with his BSB, actually puts a wound on his BSB with charge, banner, wound to his 3 ranks, 2 banners. I don't lose by much with the BSB right there. Or with the Demon Prince right there. He actually stays. I just needed him to stay for one more combat, and I'd send in everybody else, like the Warriors and both Chariots, and even the Demon Prince, hopefully, and be set. But I just needed one more combat out of him. So here's top of 4 after movement. And as you can see, not a whole lot. The Marauders charged the dogs. The dogs fled, or not the Marauders, the Man-Eaters charged the dogs. The dogs fled and got away. The Iron Blaster turns to shoot at my chariots, who are now lined up perfectly to get just punked. And yeah, other than that, everything's either dead or in combat. There's a picture of the dogs running for their lives, and they make it. During his magic phase, he's able to get troll guts off on his damn iron guts. There was nothing I could do about that. I tried, but it just wasn't meant to be. The cannon sends a cannonball through both chariots and does 1 to the Tzeentch chariot and 3 to the Slaanesh chariot, which sucked. And in combat, my BSB fails to do any wounds. His BSB fails to do any wounds back to me, but with 3 ranks and 2 standards, to standard he wins by 4. I need a 5, I roll a 9, I roll a 6082, and then I roll a 4 to flee, but it doesn't matter, he's a BSB, so he dies the minute he loses combat. And he just laid down there, and the Iron Guts were trying to figure out why he was laying there, so they stomped his brains in. It was unfortunate, but I don't blame my BSB for this one. I blame my chariots and my warriors for not getting in there. And yeah, they were longer charges, especially for the warriors. But you know what? I'm a fickle lord, and I refuse to accept responsibility. And so yeah, it's somebody else's fault. It's everyone's fault but mine. That's the way it is. So here's bottom of 4 after movement, and now that the BSB is dead, both chariots and the warriors make it into combat with the Iron Guts. So yay! The Marauders just kind of move around to throw their axes or whatever. I have no idea what to do with these guys. I'm just trying to save the points at this point. And yeah, Ashka stays where he's at because, again, there's just no point in him getting any closer to the violence. I'm afraid to move him into forest, to be honest with you. So yeah, with vengeance in their heart, we go after the Iron Guts. During my magic phase, I get Blades off, Irresistible, on my warriors. And I miscast. So I roll, what is it, an 8 or a 9, and both my casters take a Strength 6 hit, and it kills off Ashkas. As you can see, all that time spent in the forest didn't help him, because, yeah, I miscast and murder him. Meanwhile, the Demon Prince is fine. So, yeah, that was poop. Over here, the Demon Prince, I'm sorry, the Demon Prince, in combat, we do a bunch of wounds to him, actually. We did pretty good. The unit champion got into combat. I think he got killed, to be honest with you. I don't remember 100%, but he did put another wound on the BSB before he died. And, yeah, we did some good wounds. But, of course, they were steadfast because they had more ranks than I did. But it was a good start. It was a good start. After combat was over, he rolled his leadership check no problem and was able to reform to look like this horde formation here, which was still okay, really. I mean, it gave me more attacks, it gave him more attacks, but I strike first, so I was hoping to do some serious wounds to him. So we go to top of 5 over here, and as you can see, it's not looking too good. His Iron Blaster and his Man-Eaters kind of spin around to do in my Marauders, and probably get into this combat if it lasts another round. So yeah, I was really starting to hate life right now, thinking that this is going to be a loss. Yeah, during his magic phase, he irresistibly casts +1 strength, I think, and he rolls Snake Eyes, and the big template comes down, puts a wound on my chariot, kills off one of my warriors, kills off my Slaanesh chariot, kills off a bunch of his ogres, and his Slaughtermaster goes into the war. So that was huge. With his general dead and everything, that was really huge. I was happy about that, obviously. So yeah, that was a turning point right there. That was my opportunity. Over here, his Man-Eaters turned and fired and mincemeated my Marauder Horseman. Like, there was, yeah, whatever. He killed my fast cav easily. Over here in combat, it just gets brutal. He kills 6 of my warriors, finishes off the chariot. I kill 3 or 4 ogres. I mean, we do a ton of wounds to each other. Honestly, I don't even remember who won this combat, but we stay and we gear up for another fight. So here it is, bottom of 5 after movement. My dogs actually rallied, so I was able to save those 35 points, which was really cool. And my Demon Prince slams into the Iron Guts because I've got to bail out these guys. I need to win this combat. Here's a picture of the old Hail Mary pass there. During my magic phase, now that I don't have any real casters to contend with, everything goes into them. I get Glittering Robe and Enchanted Blades off on the Warriors, so they've got a chance, you know what I mean? And yeah, we beat the crap out of him. I roll 9 attacks with my sword. I don't hit myself once. I think I put 5 into his BSB and 4 into the unit, and I did like 8 wounds, 4 to the BSB and 4 to the unit. Killed off an Iron Gut, killed off his BSB. The Warriors did great, killed off a bunch of Ogres. They break. I run them, or I don't run them down. The Demon Prince, I figured that my Warriors have just as have a really good chance of catching them and killing them. So my Demon Prince was going to go into the Iron Blaster and try to secure my victory, secure this win. But what ended up happening was my Warriors rolled like shit to chase down. They rolled, I rolled a 6 in order to pursue, and I think he rolls like an 8 to get away, which really sucked. And my Demon Prince restrained to go after the Iron Blaster. So it is what it is, I guess, but I was a little disappointed. I thought at this point I had lost the game because I just missed out on all those points. So in top of 6, his Iron Blaster decides not to charge my Warriors. He gets around at an angle to just blast them with a cannonball. The Man-Eaters, spin around in the forest to do the same. And he rallies his Iron Guts, and they reform right in front of me, just begging my Warriors to charge him, which I really wasn't intending to do. During his magic phase, it skipped because all of his casters are dead, but during his shooting phase, that same cannon turns to shoot my Warriors and misfires, and it's that misfire where you spin in a random direction. And so what this Iron Blaster ends up doing is offering up his rear to my Demon Prince. So, bottom of 6, guess what my Demon Prince does? He gets on that rear. He charged the heck out of him. And yeah, flew over everything, slammed into the rear of the Iron Blaster. Meanwhile, my Warriors just looked at the Iron Guts and said, not a chance in hell, buddy. I am not going to try to weather those attacks again. So, yep, there's a better picture of the Demon Prince trying to win it for me. And although he doesn't just flat out kill him in combat, he is able to break him and run him down. And that's it. That's the end of the game right there. That's what the board looks like. I got my dogs in that lower left-hand corner. I've got my Warriors staring down the barrel of some angry Iron Guts. And I've got my Demon Prince trying to get the bits of Iron Blaster out of his teeth. He's got a lot of teeth. Meanwhile, the Man-Eaters and the Iron Guts are trying to figure out what happened. Alright, quick timeout. Banners, 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 get those banners. Look at those banners. You want those banners. You need those banners. You can't live without those banners. And if you can, well, that's really just a half-life that doesn't count, and I feel sorry for you. Send this guy an email. Go to his Facebook page. Do something. You're sitting at your laptop anyway. You're sitting at your computer at work. You've got time. Go ahead, send him an email, send him an inquiry. Just find out. Maybe you'll catch him on a good day, Maybe Slanesh touched him this morning, and that would be awesome. And he's going to cut you a good deal. You never know. You don't know until you ask. Go ask. Now. Alright, in the end, after all points were totaled up, I ended up getting 1501 out of him, and he got 1586 out of me, for a grand total of 85 points between us, which is, per the Big Red Book, a draw. So both of us felt like nothing was resolved. It was cool, actually. It was a hard-fought game the entire time by both of us, I thought. And he was a great opponent. Even when things kind of turned left and right, he never became like a scumbag or a brat or a bad attitude or anything like that. Real good guy, really enjoyed playing him. Real cool army. I ended up losing everything except for my Demon Prince, my Warriors, and my Warhounds, and he lost everything but his Man-Eaters and his Iron Guts, and it was a brutal game. As you saw, there was more blood and entrails on the ground than there was dirt. It was, yeah, I wish one of my monsters had survived because they'd ate well. Unfortunately, I have to go into the warp and find more now. But yeah, what an incredible game that was, and it was so close the whole time. The draw just is actually fitting, and it's also the first draw I've reported since doing these battle reports. So hey, milestone, excellent. I love close combat in Warhammer, so this game was a win for me regardless of the outcome because I got to roll so many dice and I had so many dice rolled back at me in combat that it was a blast. And I know what you're thinking. If you love it so much, why aren't you Khorne? Well, because Khorne doesn't get a 6-up ward save. So, yeah, there. The Slaughtermaster miscasting and killing himself like that saved me hands down from a loss. I mean, maybe I would have ran down that unit. Maybe it still would have gone my way, but more than likely not. That damn Slaughtermaster was rolling spells out of the wazoo. So yeah, his Slaughtermaster miscasting was really what stopped me from losing the game, in my opinion. In hindsight, I wish I had pursued the ogres with the Demon Prince as well. Unfortunately, not all my ideas are good ones. I should have probably just reformed with the Warriors and pursued with the Demon Prince, but how was I supposed to know I was going to roll like crap with the Warriors and the Ogres were going to roll slightly above average? It is what it is. I have some regrets. I have some regrets. But all in all, it was a great game against somebody who I've never played against before. He had some great conversions that you never see on Ogres, and he was a great opponent. I wish everybody I ran into was as cool as this guy was. But I hope to get a rematch someday. Next time you're in town, buddy, if you're watching this, please. I'm looking forward to getting another shot at tremendously fun for Johnny lists. Yeah, that's what he actually named the list. Tremendously fun for Johnny. So yeah, that's right. I'm a marked man. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for this battle report. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed reporting it. I hope that the fact that it's the first draw I've ever reported wasn't too much of a disappointment for you. And if it was, well, I've got two more coming, and neither of them are a draw, so you're going to get your kicks one way or the other. But yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, feel free to put them in the comment section below. I kind of enjoy them, and I like to reply to them, so by all means, throw them down there, and I hope to hear from you. But yeah, thanks.